Hi, I'm going to be starting a new whittling project now. What I'm going to try to make is a ball in a cage, as per this picture here. Hopefully I inserted a picture there. I've got a piece of wood, which I've cut to size. First things first, I'm going to draw the appropriate pattern onto the outside of the wood. So, I've taken the block of wood and I've drawn markings onto it. I don't know how well you can see that. It's the same on every side. I've drawn the border, so the outer bits are what's going to be left, fairly wide at top and bottom for stability, and along the edges. And I've drawn the circle where I'm going to carve the ball. You'll notice, and this is quite important, that the ball is higher than the gap. In fact, the ball is the full height of the block. This is deliberate because it means it then won't be able to come out the gaps. If it were just the size of this, then it will fall out. Being this height, it's going to be permanently trapped in the cage once I've hollowed out areas, these areas here. So there we go. Now it's time to actually start whittling. So, what I've done now is I've taken the wood and I've drawn out everything onto it, as I showed you before, and now I've started to whittle into it. I don't know how well you can see that, but I've just started to take out some of the wood. And what I'm going to do now is quickly show you how I've been doing that, by starting on this fresh side here. Now I don't know how well you can see that, but essentially the best technique seems to be that you take the area you're going to carve into, and first of all you want to work along the lines such that when you're cutting up to them you're not going to then go too far. So you pick the line there, and then if you hold the knife such that your fingers are against the back of the blade and you can pull around with it, then you can line up against there and score along like that. A couple of times just to make sure it's nice and deep, and then you're going to work down the other sides too. And around the curve, which is tricky to do, so you might not be able to see me doing this, but I'll just do it quickly. There we go. So now what you can do is you can just whittle up to the line. So you start just below it and you pull the knife up, and the wood sort of comes away up to the line. See? And it starts to come out. Like that. And then all you do is you keep going with that and you work your way around, and eventually it gets deeper like that. And then I'm going to keep going, making it deeper, going from all sides, and then once I've got those bits done, it'll be a case of trying to separate out the ball properly. So I'll keep you updated. Okay, so as another update, this is how things are now. I can hold that steady there. As you can see, this side shows what it was like before, where I just started to whittle into each gap. Now what I've done is, whittled deeper, it joined up at the edges, and so now you can begin to see the frame of the cage. So what I'm going to do is, I suppose, completely remove this middle bit, keep going in deeper, then do the same at the other end, and then that will just leave the middle bit attached inside the middle of the cage, and then I'll have to figure out how to separate that bit out. But so far, so good. It seems to have joined up fairly well so far. I'll keep you posted. Well, here's some more progress. As you can see, I've managed to break all the way through on both the top and the bottom, or the bottom and the top. I guess it's symmetrical. So yes, I went in and I joined it all up, and I've taken all that bit of wood out. So now I'm left with just the solid block in the middle, which is still currently basically square, joined to the edges. So now what I need to figure out how to do is to separate it, separate the ball bit from the edge bits. That's going to be trickier work, I think. I need to be extremely careful not to take too much off. If, for example, along the top I go too far down, I shorten it that way, or if in any dimension the ball ends up too slim, then it will be able to fit out the gaps, and we'll be in big trouble because the ball will come out the cage. So let's hope for the best. Here's how things are going. As you can see, the ball is starting to take shape within the cage. Started trying to round it off this way and over the top. So far so good. Well, we've had somewhat of a success here. The ball now moves freely within the cage to a certain degree. It isn't quite a ball yet, it's more of a lumpy egg. But still, so far so good. I think the trick is going to be slimming it down and rounding it off properly without making it so small that it falls out the gaps. I suspect there could be very little margin for error. Well, we've had quite a lot of success. Here's how it is now. You'll notice I've not made the thing a ball quite yet, it's slightly egg shaped, so it goes this way and it will rotate this way. Oh. There we go. But as soon as it starts to lean at all in that axis, then it starts to get caught because, well, it's wider there, but you can see it rotates nicely that way around and it moves up and down fine, which is nice. As I say, it just gets stuck whenever it turns slightly this way because, well, it's egg-shaped. But I'm just pleased I've managed to make it so it rotates this way, which was really hard because I needed to shave off enough that it would turn without taking off so much that it would fall out any of the gaps. So, big success there. Now just if I can round it off in all dimensions, we'll have a win. Right, things have gone particularly well now. Here's how it looks. As you can see, the ball is now far more, well, spherical, give or take. It rolls about nicely. Well, I imagine that just blurred a lot for you, but works well. It moves theoretically in every dimension. So it's basically done. It's worth noting that to round off the last few tricky bits, basically what I did is I got it so it moves fairly freely, and then I shook it about and then it would stick occasionally, just slightly, as it got into the perfect orientation to stick, and I could look where it was sticking, just shave off a little bit there. See? And I mean, it's not perfectly spherical now, I admit, it's a little lumpy in places. But it's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. I think I declare that a success. Oh, I might neaten up the edges a bit. I've bumped into them a fair bit when I've been whittling out the ball because you knock into it. but give or take, a success. A ball in a cage.